Let's go. Flood the doors, baby. What it do is JC Boo coming to you live and in your living room. And today is a very special episode. I will say it's a very special episode, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all why. Because in this episode, I'm giving you, the viewers, a chance to ask me questions as I ask myself questions. We're gonna call this thing a Q&A, a get to know me session, right? Because I feel like with the people that I've had on and the people that I will be having on later on in the year, I feel like I would get kind of lost, or people would get lost in like what I'm talking about or who I am per se. So this will probably be one of the few times that you will actually have a chance to get to know me, the streamer, right? Now, of course, when I have our chats with people and whatnot, and of course through the streams and the gaming and the reactions and whatnot, you'll get to know me then. But this is one of the rare times that you will actually be able to like get direct one-on-one interaction with me. All right, you already have that, but as far as asking me like personal questions and whatnot, things about JC Boo, one of the few times, maybe the only time, depending on how this channel goes, man. Depending on how this channel goes, man. But y'all be sure to tune in. Y'all be sure to sub up. Everybody who watches the stream afterwards, be tuned to sub up, because this is going to be a stream. All right. Now, before we get into that, of course, I like to start this thing off with theme of the stream, word of the day, which is how we get into a little mini Bible study just to set the platform, set the standard, set the stage. It's just to let everybody know as to like what this platform is all about, and that's to expand the kingdom and promote the name of Jesus Christ, the gospel of Jesus Christ, through holiness and fun. All right, so let's just get right into it. We're gonna get into James 4:3. James 4:3. When you ask, you do not receive, because you ask with wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures. Ooh, I know that hurt somebody. Because that hurt me. Oh, snap. What does that scripture mean in particular? Well, the reason why I chose it is because how often do you hear people say, oh, I want so-and-so. Oh, I want so-and-so. Oh, I would love to have this. I would love to have that. But what is their heart in obtaining those things? Right? Like, what are they really wanting that thing for? Oh, I want that promotion. Just so that what? You could just blow all the money that you have on, whatever. Or I would like that opportunity. Why? For self-promotion? What's your reasoning? And honestly, I've had to check myself in doing, when I even started the streaming, like, why am I streaming? Because for those of you who don't know, I've been streaming for a while, which we'll get into later on in the Q&A. But yeah, I've been streaming for a while now. And so in the beginning, it was purely about me wanting to just game. Like, I just wanted to game and just have fun. And then if I did blow off of that, cool. But then it got to a point where I was like, all right, like, why am I actually doing this? Because though I love gaming, have been gaming since I was 6 years old, beating my first game, Toy Story 2. I just feel like it's one of those things where it could easily burn out, especially depending on how my mood is and what's going on. So I was like, yo, I want to be able to, there has to be an eternal purpose for this. And Tommy, you are absolutely right. I'm doing this for God's glory, man. I want to show the world that, you know what, I'm not going to get into it. But just know, I'm going to get into it like during the Q&A. But just know that there is eternal purpose behind what I do. But just in that and all that, I do check myself by the scripture verse. And I feel like all of us, especially those who call us believers, should check themselves on that. So, without further ado, we about to get into the main event of this thing. Now, what I have, what I have, is called a random question generator. All right, a random question generator. So basically, what's gonna happen is, why is there two chats on here? Oh my gosh. Hold on. What the heck? Why is there two chats on here? There should not be two chats on here. There should not be two chats on here. I don't understand what's going on. There we go. All right, get that out the way. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spin this wheel and it's gonna land on a question, right? And so when it lands on a question, I will answer it. I'm gonna answer about 100 questions. 100 questions I'm gonna answer, right? I'm gonna go between this roulette and this chat roulette and another one. And in between that, I'm gonna be answering questions from you guys. So whatever you guys send me, I will be responding to. All right. And I'm gonna have it right here on this screen right here. That way you know that I see it. And that way everybody who watches know that I'm seeing it. All right. This is literally my way of talking to you guys. All right. I'm making this as intimate as possible without being too intimate. You feel me? All right. So we about to get into the random question generator. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right. First spin. What is your favorite food and why? So my favorite food would have to be really anything that's edible, chat. I can eat just about anything. Anything that can be consumed by the body and you not get sick off of, or at least die from. Yeah, that's what I like to eat. Right now, I've been feeling like Southern cooking as of now, and then before that, I was into Mexican food. I love Korean barbecue. Oh, you said one food, chat? Okay, one food. I would say Southern food. Southern food is very comforting. Hold on, we got a question from chat. So he said, if you could only eat one thing, and why? I would have to say, dang, that's a tough one. If I could only eat one thing, why? If I could only eat one thing, why? I would say Korean barbecue. I would say Korean barbecue. Yo, W Korean barbecue, man. I can eat Korean barbecue all day long. W Korean barbecue. All right, so we're about to get into the next spin. That's 2 questions. All right, I actually should have like a what you would call it, like a timer for when I answer these questions, but it's cool. All right, now to spin it. Oh, already answered that one. Dang. Okay, if you could be anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why? Now, the Christian answer to this would be Jesus Christ. All right, I would love to meet him, and one day we'll meet him. You know, yes, chat. It would definitely be Jesus. You know what I'm saying? That's the author of my faith, the reason why I am alive. You know, but if we want to make this a little bit more real, a little bit more closer to the heart, I would probably say my great grandfather, Joe Fred Bowie. And the reason why I say him is because, 1, I was named after him. 2, I just hear that he was just such a great man and that he touched a lot of people, and that he was just truly like a family's man. Like from the stories I've heard from my father and my grandfather, he just seemed like a really stand-up guy who had an amazing sense of humor. So, as a matter of fact, I remember when I went to visit his gravesite for the first time when I was 11, I got emotional being there. He had been passed for like close to 10 years at that point, but it was still like, man, like this is him. Like I would have loved to meet him and got to talk to him when he was alive. You know, just the stories he told my dad, and you know the jokes that he shared, how much of a family man he was, how much of a spiritual man he was. Like I just would have loved to have met him. So yeah, man, you're right, Chad. We got deep real quick. We got deep real quick. All right. So that is question number 2 and then 2. So we're now at 4 questions now. All right. Spin it. Ginger ale for the win. Okay. If you went to live on a desert island, what would you take with you? Sheesh. Yeah, ginger ale does need to sponsor me. Facts, chat. Facts. If I went to live on a desert island, what would I take with you? Now, if this is a question of who, of course I would take my wife. But if it's like a object, dang, this is hard. Because this is honestly a question I used to ask with my friends back in college, like random people that we would meet. So, I would say probably a machete. I feel like you can do a lot with a machete. You can cut through trees and stuff with a machete. Well, no, hold on, desert island. If it's a desert, if it's a straight desert, probably just a knife. Yeah, a machete or a knife. That way I can like kill whatever. I can like make fire with it from like the wood and stuff that could potentially be on there. I could kill whatever. Like it's a multi-purpose thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say a knife / a machete. A knife / a machete. Okay, so that's 4 questions now. We're at 4. If you were an animal, what would you be and why? That is a very easy question. I would be a lion. I would definitely be a lion. Why would I be a lion? I would be a lion because, I mean, lion of the tribe of Judah, man. Like you know what I'm saying? It goes back to Jesus. Also, too, like they're the most ferocious looking animal to me, like just off of appearance. You know what I mean? Like if I were to go off of like if you just look at something just resting or whatnot, and you just see a lion with his mane and whatnot, you think king. You know. And plus, I've always been a fan of the Lion King. W Simba, W Mufasa. Shout out to the last Lion King movie that just came out, Mufasa. You know what I'm saying? But definitely the lion. Drop a clues bomb for the lion. All right, so now we're at number 5. All right, I already answered that one. Let's get it good. Are books a waste of time? Why or why not? No, I do not feel as though books are a waste of time. I think books are very valuable to one's expansion of their knowledge of the world around them. Books can also be a way of expanding just like yourself, like knowing yourself, right? Because you read something and then you do a lot of introspective looking into yourself, and you're like, oh snap, like I didn't know this about me until I read this book. I didn't know I felt this way about this particular topic or subject until I read this book. My mind hadn't really explored that part of myself until I read this book. So do I think books are a waste of time? I do not. Now, the form in which the book is in, that's a whole nother question. All right, because it could be an ebook. It could be a paper book. Now, that could be controversial. Me, I'm more of an ebook type of person, right? Like, I'd rather read it online than actually, like, sit there and hold a book, unless it's the Bible. But other than that, to answer the overall question, are books a waste of time? No, I do not believe books are a waste of time. Be sure to sub up, though. Sub up. For all those who are new, sub up. All right, chat. About to spin the wheel again. That's number 6. That is number 6. And be sure to keep the questions coming. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. But what are you reading? I am reading the Bible, honestly. I'm reading the Bible. I'm mainly an article kind of guy, though. But if I had to choose between books and articles, I read mainly articles. Yeah, it's been a while since I've actually read like a chapter book, like cover to cover. It's been a minute. Like outside of the Bible, I don't really read too many books like that. I read mainly articles and like journals, like stories and whatnot. So All right. Spin it. It's number 7. What do you wish you had the courage? What do you wish you could change about the world and why? Oh, shit. Oh, snap. Okay. Dang, that's deep. That's deep. Yeah, that's good. Chad, you're right. Yeah, literally everything. I would change literally everything about it. I would say though the number one thing I would change would probably be the pride that exists in the world. Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people, they do things to each other and to things out of pride and arrogance, right? Like I feel like if they were to division, that is true, but I feel like pride is literally like the root from which all that stuff comes from, right? Because you have division because you have a group of people who think one group thinks themselves better than the other, right? You have, you have different classes, right? And the separation of those classes because one thinks more highly than the others. Separation of race because one race thinks they're higher than the other. Separation of religion, or really like their view of God, right? Because I mean, even in the Christian faith, right, you have different denominations, because one denomination thinks their way is higher than the others, instead of us coming to a congruent agreement on what the word is actually saying. And I'm sure that's the same way with other faiths. So I just feel like if we were to take away pride, like we would honestly live in like a perfect world if we just took away pride. And as simple as that. So that's question number 8. What are you most afraid of and why? That is an easy question. I am most afraid of fear and failing. Roll that back. I am most afraid of failure and failing others. It's not even myself that I'm afraid of failing. It's failing others through my actions. Like that to me is that's the thing I fear the most. And it's something that it used to grip me as a kid. And I feel like I've gotten better with that, but it's still my number one thing. So like anytime something happens and then people are like, and then it's like my fault in it, it's just like, oh my gosh, yo. Like it's easy for me to fail if it's just me, right? But when my actions affect other people, then it's like, and then they're like traumatized by it too. Oh my gosh. That hurts. It's something that I'm continuing to get healing from. Give us a story. Ooh. So I remember chat. I remember this one time, right? Where it was back in middle school, actually. It was back in middle school. And I was called to it was in middle school. Sorry, get my stories jammed together. It was in middle school, and I was on the basketball team. We're playing our in-city rivals. Wilkerson Middle School. And I remember it was 5 seconds left, score tied up, and the ball was given into my hands, and I'm like, oh snap, I'm about to take over. I'm about to do my thing and whatnot. And so I remember this guy in front of me. I'm like, okay, sit crossover. I do it. Just cross this dude up, get to the hole, lay it up, right? I cross him up. Dude takes a swipe at my hand. Literally fouls me. Fouls me. And then another dude comes, swipes at me again. I lose the ball, turn the ball over, game over. Now, should the ref have called that foul? Yes, absolutely. But I'll never forget the point guard I was with. His name was PJ. Dude looked at me and goes, "Why didn't you show that?" And then I'm looking at all my other teammates. Just shake their heads at me and walk towards the locker room. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I really let the entire team down. And I remember I couldn't even sleep that night because I was so just like distraught by that. And I'll never forget the next day my mom saw that and I just couldn't talk to her. Normally she talks to me about, the morning and like, praying this, that, and other. I couldn't talk that morning. And so I'll never forget she called me. I'm sorry. I got to school and going through class or whatnot, head still hung. And I just hear over the intercom, so and so, can you please come to the front office? I'm like, okay, like I can't be in trouble, can I? And so I went, and I just hear a lot of commotion in the cafeteria. So I'm like, what's going on in the cafeteria? I do a quick peek in. Mom holds a sign that says, JC, you are wonderful. And then the back it said, JC, you are amazing. And she's walking around a crowded cafeteria, and all these kids are like pointing and laughing. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? I was so embarrassed. But it literally went from like me being totally down on myself to being like, wow, my mom really cares. As embarrassing as this is, my mom truly cares about, my mental being. Because I was definitely down bad on myself. So, yo, W mom, man. W mom. Let's get back to that. Go back to this. Man, those Timos smoked so many open shots. I'm going to give that a second thought. That's my dad talking. Yeah, man, I know. Looking back, I'm like, man, if y'all don't stop talking to me, man, like, y'all could go on somewhere. But at that time, I didn't have that level of confidence in like myself in the game. I was actually talking to a friend about this the other day. I was telling him like back then, if I knew then what I know now, as far as playing the game to win instead of playing the game to keep people off your back, who knows how far I would have went in basketball and other sports. But at that time, I was like, yo, I'm not trying to get yelled at because it goes back to the fear of failure. I fail them, and then I get yelled at for it, and then it's like, damn, I was nice with The Rock now. Don't listen. Do not get it twisted. I was nice with The Rock, but I was such a nice guy back then that I just didn't want anybody like mad at me and whatnot. And so when I failed, and then I got to hear the yelling from these other kids, it's just like, man. So then it became less of let's win the game. It became let's get them off the back. But life happens, man. Life happens. So I'm definitely gonna instill different in my kids, like that mentality. Let us move on. All right, be sure to drop your questions in the chat. I'm not just doing off the chat roulette. I'm also going off of you guys, chat. Listen, the night is for y'all. The night is for you guys, all right? I'm just helping this like to keep it going just in case people don't know what to ask me. But ask me anything. Ask me NT thing. All right? Let's spin it. Which country would you most like to visit and why? Right now, at this very moment, I would have to say South Korea. I would definitely have to say South Korea. Primarily because few reasons. One, I actually took Korea in college and I loved not just the language or whatnot, but just like the culture of it. Like I learned a lot about the culture of South Korea through that class. Also, having best friends who are Korean. Shout out to Maurice and Jonathan. They really exposed me to Korean culture, and also were the ones that put me on to like even exploring that. Because before, I mean, coming from Birmingham, let's just be honest, there's not a huge Korean population out there. So, like they really piqued my interest as far as that country. And then third, just the food. Oh my gosh, the food is amazing, and also the music. K-pop fan, Bangtan Soyadang, BTS. So yes. South Korea is definitely like number one on my list to go visit. Definitely number one. Okay, we got a question from chat. If you could change your hairstyle for one day, what would you try to rock? Oh snap! Hairstyle would I want to rock? Hairstyle would I try to rock? Dang, that's a good one. I'm rocking the drop fade right now, as you can see. I'm rocking the drop fade. See you more in the back. I'm getting a fresh fade tomorrow. So you don't see it as much right now. But rocking the drop fade now. I've done the taper fade. I've done the low cut. I've done the buzz cut. As far as like what's left, probably like grow it out, like do the Corbin blue. Like I've done all the short hair. I've done all the short hair styles. I've even done like cornrows before. Shout out to Moms for doing that for me in Colorado that one trip. But I would definitely do like the Corbin blue for sure. I would do Corbin blue. What state would you want to visit? That would be that I haven't already, because I just visited California and that was like my number one. So right now I would probably say New York. Yeah, New York City. That's like the last great state I haven't visited yet. So I would definitely say New York. So, you know what I mean? All right, let's get back to the wheel. Wheels on the bus go round. Already answered that one. Eliminate that one. Oh, I forgot. I didn't even see you could eliminate questions like that. Okay. Bet. Already answered that one too. I said I would be a lion. All right. What do you want? What do you most want to achieve in your life and why? Dog. Honestly, just to spread the gospel as much as I possibly could. That would be it. And also just to, what do you want? What do you most want to achieve in your life? Man, just to fulfill the purpose that God has called me to be. That's also a big fear of mine too. And that's honestly, okay, so going back to that last question of what are you most afraid of? This is actually going to be like a 2-question thing. So what I'm most afraid of actually goes along with this question, and that is the fear of missing out on God's purpose for my life due to my actions. Now, of course, when we say that could be, you could take that as like pride, because you know God's gonna operate how He operates, regardless of what you do. But I would hate to be, I would hate to like delay blessings or even like forfeit them altogether. You know what I'm saying? Based off of that, so that's also my fear. That's also a fear, but it's also what I want to achieve most in life, and that is to, fulfill the purpose that God has for my life. All right, going back to chat. Would you get a pet? Yes, I'm looking to get a dog. Oof. All right, I'm trying to get that dog in my life. All right. Who is your favorite Asian? That's funny. Who is my favorite Asian? My favorite Asian. Okay. Because that could be... Okay, so when you say favorite Asian, that could be taken... There's only one answer? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Dragon, I'm a. Oh my gosh, I feel bad because I don't even remember who this guy is. Dragon is, bro. You gotta tell me who you are. You gotta tell me who you are. You gotta tell me who you are, dog. What's good, my Reezy? What's poppin'? Dragon, who are you, bro? Jonathan? Hey, yo. How the heck did you find me? Oh, snap. What's good, Jonathan? Hey, Dummies in the chat for Jonathan. Jonathan's one of those Koreans I told you that exposed me to Korean culture, bro. I salute that dog. He's part of he's part of my inner squad, bro. A1 for life. My boy Jonathan, yes. Jonathan, you are my favorite Asian dog. I'll drop another bomb for you. Let's get it. Tommy said Jackie Chan. That's hilarious. Let's see. Going back to the questions. What also about being a dad one day? Yes, I would love to be a dad one day. I am trying to be a dad. For sure. Also, Dragon, if you ain't subbed up yet, go ahead and hit that sub button. Go ahead and hit that sub button, bro. What's good? But be a dad one day? Yes, I'm trying to be a dad one day. I am trying to populate this house, all right? Like I said as a kid, anywhere from a boy band to a soccer team. So, got to get started. All right. Now, back to the action. If you had a superpower, what would it be and why? What's crazy, chat? Growing up, I used to want a lot of different things. But I remember most recently, I was like, yo, if I had the power to read people's minds, especially during college, that would be fantastic. But I'm gonna be honest, chat. The more I get to know people, the less I want to know about people's minds. I mean, I don't even want to know what I'm thinking about most of the time, much less what other people got to say. So, if you had a superpower, what would it be and why? I would say teleportation. Yeah, I'll probably have to say teleportation. I would probably say teleportation, speed, or flight. Super strong. No, I'm good. I'm not trying to destroy things everywhere I go. You know what I'm saying? I'm good on being the Hulk. But yeah, teleportation, speed, or flight. Those are my three. Okay, chat back to being lit. My Reezy! What's your favorite Bible story? This dude, man, why you think I'm watching this? I'm so dope. Appreciate it, my boy Dragon. Okay, what's your favorite Bible story? I would have to say Joseph, the man of the colorful coats. I would say that's my favorite one. Why? One, because, well, namesake, and then two, I would say, just the way my life is kind of gone, or the trajectory of it. There's a lot of different. I'll say this: it's the most relatable one. It's the most relatable Bible story to me. So I'm gonna just keep it like that. Just keep it like that. All right. JJ's asking who's your favorite Transformer, bro. You got to go with Optimus Prime. Loogie, Optimus Prime for the win. What? That's not even up for discussion, man. This is not up for discussion. Teleportation. Oh, that's hilarious. This is fantastic to tell you why I sit on the toilet. Jonathan. You got no chill, bro. You ain't got no chill. Oh, man. All right. On that note, we'll get back to this wheel. Keep the questions coming, chat. What would you do if you won the lottery and why? Man, so let's go ahead and divvy this thing up, bro. Now, first off the dome, we just blowing it. You know what I mean? We just blowing it. But no, we're not going to blow it because I have a wife now, so I can't be that reckless. No, but seriously, though. So if I won the lottery, depends on how much of it is because, they're going to take taxes out of it and whatnot. So you're probably going to get maybe 50% of that. So I would put half of it away. We don't touch that. And then I would give about $2 to $3 million to my parents as a thank you, as a, thank you for bringing me this way. Thank you for all that you've done for me for these last 30 years of my life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that would just be a huge gratitude gift I would give to my family. And then I would invest a good 20 to 30% of that. That way, passive income, you know what I mean? I don't have to do anything, I don't have to do anything, but just sit back and chill out. 10% of that, of course, is going to the church, you know what I'm saying? My allotment, 10% allotment. And then 5%, Yeah, I'm blowing it, bro. Actually, no. Let's go back. So, and then 5% of that I'm gonna put away for like kids' college funds. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead, because I know college gonna be crazy. You know what I'm saying? College gonna be crazy. And then we would do, and then the rest I'm blowing it. I'm blowing it. You know what I'm saying? We ride out, ride out. Oh, chat going crazy right now. Let me see what chat talking about. Chat, what you talking about? All right, Timmy asked if you like Bumblebee. Yes, I do like Bumblebee. Bumblebee is number 2. Optimus Prime I like because he's head honcho. You know what I'm saying? He's El Presidente of the Autobots. So that's why I'm going Optimus Prime. But Bumblebee is definitely number 2, Timmy. Bumblebee is definitely number 2. Who are some of your favorite creators? Oh. Now, when you say creators, are we talking about streamers? Or are we talking about just YouTube content overall? Like, what do you mean by that? DC or Marvel? I'm going. Okay, as a whole, Marvel. But Batman's number 1. Batman is number 1. You know what I'm saying? So as far as like overall character, I'm going Batman. But as far as like the overall like comic book organization, Marvel. Yeah, we're gonna stick with Marvel. Okay. Both. Okay, so for streamers, I'm going to say, okay, so my favorite streamers would be iShowSpeed, Kai Cenat, Johnny Chang, Preacher Guy. Yo, if y'all don't know who Preacher Guy is a gamer dude on Twitch. And fun fact, I actually used to go to his church. I used to volunteer at his church. His name is Grant. But, well, he probably didn't want me to saying that out loud, but it's cool. But yeah, the Preacher Guy. Check him out on Twitch and also on TikTok. He's actually really good, and he's actually a friend of mine. So y'all go check him out. But yeah, streamers also. And then as far as overall YouTube creators, I would say Mr. Beast, of course. Slice and Rice. I would love to have Slice and Rice on my stream one day. That would be fire if I get Slice and Rice on my stream. I like Nick 830. Oh, he's another streamer. Duh. I like him. I like let's see, as far Plopagus. I like Plopagus. I like. Oh my gosh, what's his name? Hold on. Let me go back through my subs list. Let's see. Ryan Tranahan. I like Ryan Tranahan. I do like him. I also like Chandler off of Mr. Beast's thing too. Carl as well. I like them. I like AMP. I like AMP. I like Nick Jones has interesting commentary as well. So I like them as well. Man, chat going crazy. Okay. Chat, let me talk to chat. All right. I'm rambling right now. But those are my creators from what I could think of as of now. Also, Myreezy. Y'all got to check out Myreezy on TikTok. She's fire too. All right. Starbucks or Dunkin'. I'm going to have to go with Starbucks. Although Dunkin' has better juices, I will say. Those refreshers, I like Dunkin' better. Looks like you're doing the YMCA. Madden or NCAA. Madden's dear to my heart. I've been playing Madden since I was 4 years old with my father. All right, 4 or 5 years old. Madden. I played NCAA on and off, but Madden was like the most consistent. Like we used to have Thanksgiving tournaments on Madden, so I'm gonna have to say Madden. USA or China, Jonathan, you are a whole troll for that. This man trying to get me banned. Yo, dang it, Jonathan. USA, because I'm not trying to get deported or removed. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how Trump feeling on the type of day. Favorite dish that Sam makes. So Sam's a really good cook. I'm gonna have to say though, those salmon balls. Her salmon bowls are fantastic. The way she like makes the salmon too, and then she puts it with the. Oh my gosh, it's a whole medley. So I will say that is my favorite thing of Sam's that I make. Y'all gotta have that. What about Tony from LC Son? Okay, he's good too. I forgot about him. Ruth or Rebecca from the Bible? I'm gonna have to go Ruth, man. Becca kind of tried a little bit. Becca was kind of. I'm not gonna say she was of the streets, yo, but she was definitely on, like, she was on something from every now and then. So I'm gonna have to say I'm going Ruth. David or Solomon? King David all the way. Solomon lost his way, man. He let them wives get to it. This man tried to get it to the wheelchair ministry too much. 1,000 wives, bro? 1,000 wives is enough to keep up with one, much less 999 of them? Nah. Solomon was wild. And he had everything and still threw it. Please. King David all the way. Kardashians are Real Housewives. This is definitely a Sammy question. Because I could care less about any one of them. David lost his way too, but at least David can't. Yeah, but Solomon, man, it's like you had literally everything, and God literally told you not to literally stay away from it, and you will have all of this. And then because of what Solomon did, the kingdom ended up being ripped completely away from Solomon. Like, my gosh. Exactly. David was redeemed at least. Solomon, like, I mean, we got Ecclesiastes, but who knows if he actually wrote that with a repentant heart? It might have just been out of like sorrow or some last ditch effort to sound wise. I don't know. But yeah, between Solomon and David, I'm going King David all the way. Kardashians, bro, really? What are we doing to Kardashians? Oh my gosh. I will say Housewives, especially Real Housewives of Atlanta, is more entertaining. So off of that, I'm going Real Housewives. Now Beverly Hills and all the rest of them, no, I could care less about. But Atlanta is actually really entertaining, so I'll go there. Genesis or Revelation? Revelation. I gotta drop a bomb for Revelation, because Revelation is like hype, man. Revelation literally from cover to cover is like. Now Genesis explains a lot about what we go through today, but that there Revelation, man, to this day people don't know what 100% what John was writing about. But I mean, nah, I used to be obsessed wholeheartedly with Revelation, because especially with like the Left Behind books. Any of y'all read the Left Behind books? Numbers? Okay. I never heard that somebody say that before. Numbers is interesting. All right. That's an interesting one. A very interesting one. All right. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go Revelation on that. I used to watch too. I used to read the Left Behind books and watch the Left Behind movies, and I mean all throughout class. Like whenever I was bored or I finished all my work and had nothing else to read, I would literally sit there and read the Left Behind books. So shout out to Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins. All right, back to the wheel. So now we're at 25 questions right now. I've answered 25. What are you most afraid of and why? I've already answered that one. That is my fear of failing others and also not fulfilling God's purpose for my life. So let's move on. Which country would you like to most like to visit and why? I've already answered this one. I said South Korea for my reasoning, and dragon is a large part of my reasoning. So we're going to eliminate this one as well and move on. We're going to move on. What do you most want to achieve in your life and why? I said to fulfill God's promises for my life. And also just to expand the kingdom however way I can. I feel like with the streaming thing, I could really, with the streaming, one, I love streaming. I absolutely love streaming. And just like the resources that have been put before me, the doors that have been opened to me for this and with this, I feel like I can really, and I mean really, promote God's kingdom through this. So ultimately, I just want to see the gospel proclaimed, and just for people to really come to know Christ through my life and what I do. But I've already answered this question, so I'm eliminated. Okay, spin the wheel. Already said the superpower, teleportation, flight, and speed. Super speed. What would you do if you won the lottery? I already broke that down. I already gave you my business portfolio of how I would do this. You know, I would be responsible. Only because I have a family now. What is your favorite thing to do and why? I'm going to go ahead and say streaming. You know what I'm saying? Because I really do love chat. When I tell you every waking moment of the day, I am thinking about streaming. Like, it's really a problem. Like, I'll literally be at work doing something like critical for work, and streaming will literally be at the forefront of my mind. Like, I'm like, okay, like, how can I make this stream better? Like, what can I do for this stream? What techniques can I put with here? What can I do with this? What can I do with that? Who can I bring on to stream or whatnot? Which I already have a roster of people already signed up to come on stream. So I got to tune in. Y'all got to tune in and sub up. Tune in and sub up. Oh, we got some more questions from chat. So we're at question 26 now. 26 out of 100. 26 out of 100. All right, let's see what chat talking about. If you had to move to another country and spend the rest of your life there, where would you go? Brother Thomas, I'm going to have to say Iceland. Iceland was amazing. My wife and I, Samantha, we went there for our honeymoon. And when I say, except for the cold, it was like the most fantastic place, man. I'm telling you, like, everybody there was super friendly. It was such just a nice and quiet environment. Even though I am not allowed, even though I'm not like a, nice and quiet person. It was just so nice. The food was really good. And I'm not talking about that fermented shark, no. But like other stuff that they had was really good. I mean, they bring all this stuff from, they bring a lot of this stuff from overseas. So it's not like I would have to eat the stuff off the land. But no, Iceland was fire though. Is the food super mid there? No, it actually isn't. If you go to Iceland, the food is actually pretty good there. Like I said, we didn't have like the fermented shark and all that. Like, no, we stayed as far away from that as possible. But that other stuff though, the other stuff foods that they had, like their tomatoes, fire. All right, have you ever played the board game Splendor? I have not. I would love to play Splendor. I have heard of it. I don't know fully what it's about, but I have heard of it. So no, I would like to play. So what is Splendor anyway? Okay, explain to me what exactly Splendor is. I have heard of it, but I don't know exactly what it is. Like, what exactly is Splendor? Coca-Cola or Pepsi? So my baby works at Pepsi. Poppy just got bought out by Pepsi. Quaker Oats, which is a very nice brand of mine. Pepsi. We gonna go Pepsi. W Pepsi! They're the best dairy. I think you're talking about Iceland. Raw milk. I'm not doing raw milk, bro. That's just weird to me. I just can't do raw milk until I see hard coded facts that raw milk is good. Like, no, I just no. I'm not doing that. Try puffin? No, we did not try puffin. Like I said, anything native to anything like again the fermented shark, the puffin or whatnot. No. Now I did hear the puffin was good. I heard some people say that the puffin was okay, but the places that we went to, they just didn't have it, and we ran out of time. But hopefully one day if we do end up going back to Iceland, I would like to try some puffin. Cool Ranch or nacho cheese? Nacho cheese all the way. Nacho cheese all the way. Who you got in the NBA Finals? Ooh, who got in the NBA Finals? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Honestly, and I'm not even joking when I say this, but honestly, I can say this with a clear conscience that Boston can repeat. Boston can repeat, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let me cook right quick.
Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
All right. So look, reason why I say Boston is because that team is too stacked on both sides. All right, you got offense and defense, bro. Offense and defense is loaded. I know everybody's like on Shea Alexander and OKC and whatnot, but they're still too inexperienced, yo. They're still too inexperienced. They haven't even got. Once they get to the conference championship or whatnot, I feel like they're gonna fold. I really do feel like they're gonna fold. They're such a young team. They don't have the experience like that. I mean, we saw what they did against the Mavericks last year. And yes, they will come out hungrier, but I just don't think they have the experience to take them over the top. So I think making it out of the West. I'll say OKC will make it out of the West. It's either going to be OKC or the Lakers. OKC or the Lakers, I can see making it out of the West. But as far as like the overall, I'm going to have to say Boston. Even though Cleveland does look nice. Cleveland is nice. Shout out to Donovan Mitchell. They ain't got it. They just don't have it. So in the West, I have OKC, and then or the Lakers, and then in the East I got Boston, and I think Boston's gonna make it out on top. W pick. We say there's a W pick. Cool. All right. Moving back onto the wheel. Are books a waste of time and why? I've already answered this. No, I do not think books are a waste of time. Now, do I think that books in different forms could be? It's up for debate. Like I said, I'm more of an electronic book kind of guy versus like hardback. But that's just me. Except when it comes to the Bible. With the Bible, I prefer like in person. Like, smell the pages type of real. So I'm going to eliminate that one. All right. We're going to spin it. If you went on desert island, what would you take? I said a machete earlier, but if it was a who, I would say my wife. So we're going to eliminate that one as well. All right. Oh, we got another question from chats. Ginger ale or Poppy? Man, come on, man. What y'all see there, man? What y'all see there? All right. This single. Ginger ale. One time for the one time. W picks, but as a Golden State fan, I gotta stay loyal to the soil. Warriors and 5 and my Shannon Sharp. Okay. I respect the Warriors too. I do respect the Warriors. I do. I really do. Especially since Jimmy Butler's come over there. I do respect the Warriors. I think the Warriors could honestly make it to the conference finals. I do. I do think they make it to the conference finals. Now, do I think they have enough firepower to get over the hump though? That's the thing. And that's why I'm saying, OKC or the Lakers. Because I don't know. Because, think about it. It's just Steph and Jimmy. I mean, you got Kevin Looney there. Decent. You got DiVincenzo. Cool or whatnot. But, do they have... I don't really see them having another piece that would project them past the conference finals to get into the actual NBA finals. So... But I do respect the Peter. I do respect that though. I do respect that. Of my singing talent, I can't. Singing talent. I mean, I sing in the choir chat a little bit, but again, I'm a voice of 30. You know what I mean? I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing nothing too crazy. Now, I will be having a guest on soon who has true singing ability. Y'all stay tuned for that. Or guests, I should say. Yes. All right. Hold on. Give us. All right, I'm gonna give y'all one line, and that's it. I owe it all to Jesus. All right, that's it. That's all you get. That's all you get. That's all you get. All right, we're down to the last few questions on this wheel. Then we're gonna move on to the next wheel. What is your favorite food and why? I did say that if I had to choose between the two, I mean all the different foods, because I mean, as long, like I said before, as long as it's edible and I don't get sick off of it, I can eat whatever. Right now at the moment though, I'm feeling Korean barbecue. You know what I'm saying? Korean barbecue for the win. Korean barbecue for the win, baby. Lemonade. All right. What do you wish you could change about the world and why? I said that I did say that I wanted to get rid the world of the pride. Rid the world of the pride. I did say that. Rid the world of the pride in the world. So we're gonna eliminate that. All right, down to the last two of this wheel. What's your favorite thing to do and why? Oh yeah, I already answered this. I said my favorite thing to do is to stream. So yeah, I'm gonna just keep it at that. I love streaming. Eliminate. All right, last question of this here thing. Who do you most like to spend your time with and why? I'm gonna have to say my baby Sammy. My baby Sammy. Samantha Bowie. Bowie. Y'all can check her. You can check our stream out on my YouTube page for the full convo that we had recently. But yes, that is my wife. My best friend. Samantha Bowie. Yes, sirski. All right. So we're going to move on from that wheel. And we're going to move on to this one. All right. What is the color of my toothbrush? I would have to say, I don't even remember. Probably blue. It's either blue or green. Oh, it's purple. It's purple? I thought it was blue. Yeah, whatever. I thought it was blue. All right. I don't know. My wife knows better than I do. Next question. Favorite season. My favorite season is fall. It used to be the summer growing up. But ever since I moved to Texas, summers ain't been it. The day just discovers he's colorblind. Listen, no, all right. It's not purple. I know it's not purple. Favorite season, yeah, it's definitely the fall, man. And then also too with the fall, that's when you get like the fall fashion and everything. You get to really like hook stuff up. I mean, summer fashion, I will say, over the last couple of years has really come together nicely. So I will say summer's elevating back up as far as fashion, but here in Texas, man, it's just unforgiving. So I will say for now, it is fall. All right, back to chat. If you had to choose an adventure to help you break okay, this is a deep one. Oh, this is a deep one. Okay, all right. Let's think on this one. If you had to choose an Avenger to help you break an alternate version of yourself out of captivity, who'd you pick? Dang, Peter! Pete got me thinking. Dang, that's a good one. That's a really good one, yo. Probably Doc. I would okay. I would say reason why this is hard for me, chat, is because my first thought is Doctor Strange, right? But the way he messed up in the Spider-Man movie, I'm just like, man, because he messed up royally. I mean, royally. But he did make up for it. So I say Doctor Strange, and he's also an intellectual too. On top of that, so yeah, I would have to say Doctor Strange. I had to say Doctor Strange. Chris Tucker or Eddie Murphy? Listen, controversial, but I'm gonna have to say Chris Tucker. And the reason why I'm saying Chris Tucker, is because Chris Tucker makes. I've seen the Eddie Murphy movies. I've seen his stand up. I've seen Chris Tucker stand up too. Ooh, hold on. Ooh, that's tough. Chris has funnier movies. Rush Hour, Friday. Like, Chris has funnier movies to me. But Eddie has a funnier stand-up. But Chris stand-up funny too. Me personally, I'm about to go with Chris Tucker. All right, I know this is gonna start controversy, especially when I clip this up. I know it's gonna start controversy, but I'm gonna have to go Chris Tucker. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna just have to. You know what I'm saying? If you want to fight me on it, sub to me and let's duke it out. Everybody like and subscribe. Demonic. Well, I mean, in the world of Marvel, but we're talking about an Avenger though. Like, there's no Avengers like that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it would have to be, again, one of my least favorite Avengers. But if you're talking about answering this particular question, it would have to be Doctor Strange. It would have to be just him as a person. I'm not talking about this latest movie that was in. But yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah, man, I know that right there is that's a like this. That's a like this question. Okay. So that's I think we're right at 50 questions, chat. I think we are at 50 questions. Let me see. What were you like as a kid? What was I like as a kid? As a kid, I was a very happy-go-lucky kid, I will say. I was a serious kid. I did take life seriously, but at the same time, I was very much that kid that I just loved to smile and just be happy. I loved just happiness and that emotion of happiness. So everywhere I went, for the most part, I just smiled every time, and I used to get picked on a lot, especially in middle school, because of that. Like, I would just be in the lunch line, just like, and I'm probably thinking of like some song that my mom had playing in the car on the way to school. And hey, yo, that's a funny question. That's a funny question. I'm gonna get to that one in a minute. But yeah, I will say that, yeah, I was a really happy kid. I was a happy kid that tried to get along with everybody. I was friendly with everybody. I also didn't take a lot of foolishness though, like a lot of stupidity. Like, if stuff happened, I was like, I'm getting away. I'm getting as far away from this as possible. Like, I have a greater tolerance for it now than I did as a kid. As a kid, like, if something's happening over in the cafeteria, I'm leaving the school. I'm like, I was that type. Or like if somebody was messing with me or picking on me, there was no such thing as like, talking it out or like resolution. It was, you have been excommunicated from my life. Like, I want nothing to do with you. So that's the kind of kid I was. I was a very happy-go-lucky kid, but I wasn't about it. And I also love the Lord, like literally from an early age. My mom did a really good job of teaching us what it means to have a relationship with Christ from a very early age. And that is something that I have fortunately been able to stay consistent with. Of course I stumble, of course I fall, but I've never have like a backslid where I just completely fell away from the faith. That's never been the case. So that was me as a kid. If you had the opportunity to lead an MCU villain to Jesus, who would it be? MCU, I mean, to me the obvious choice would be Thanos because of how powerful he was. And just to see somebody of that much power, of that much might, of that much arrogance and pride be brought to Jesus, I think would not only be good for, not just for himself, but also just how much shockwave that would be to the United States, to the entire universe. You know what I mean? Because like he would follow Jesus, and then he would go on this like mass quest. Like imagine Thanos with his kind of energy and aura, spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Like it would literally be like the European colonization period of like the Renaissance era times like 1,000. You know what I mean? Like this dude would be like out just like the gospel. So yeah, I would say Thanos. Thanos. That's hilarious. Okay, so I think we're at 52 now. We are at 52. Yeah, we're at 52, right? We're at 52. We're at 52 questions. Okay. If your money... Wait, hold on. Y'all can't even see what I'm looking at right now. All right. If you're... Okay, whoever made this definitely had a typo. If your money was not an issue, what job would you want? Streamer. I would be... Chat. I literally told my wife this the other day. If I could, I would stream every single day, all day. Like, that's literally what I would do. I would just stream. But I'm not making any money off of this, so... yeah, I would just stream. If money was not an issue, I would literally just be streaming. Like, I just love streaming. Okay. What else? Thought I saw a question from chat. That's 53. Favorite season, I already shared that. That is the fall. Who do you look up to the most? And I think, okay, Sam actually asked this question earlier. I just forgot. Who do I look up to the most? Chad, this is going to be a very Christian answer for me, but I'm going to have to say Jesus. And the reason why I say that is because, as far as overall, right? Because Son of God, perfect, sinless man. The reason why I say that is because, like, of course I have individuals that I look up to as far as, like, certain things. But as far as... Because here's the thing, right? Like, when I say I look up to somebody, that means, like, I'm trying to mold myself after them. Like, I'm trying to, like, base what I do after that person. And I feel like if I were to really dive into who I look up to the most, then that person can inadvertently become an idol in my life, to where I'm trying to match that person. I'm trying to please that person. I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z for that person. Just to be next to, or again, be that person. And so when that person, and I say when, not if, but when that person lets me down, then that's going to cause like a depression or like a sadness in me, because I've elevated that person to a status that they were never supposed to be in. And so to just avoid all that, I just stick with, just, the Alpha and Omega, Jesus Christ. Now there's people that I'll say I admire and I respect. But as far as somebody that I look up to, per se, I don't really have somebody I look up to. Looking up. Like when you're looking up to somebody, like when I think look up, I think of like, yeah, I don't know. Something about me this is that posture of like of idolization I try to stay away from. So yeah, when I say look up, so admire the most, I would say, and again, that's different people in my life. Like there's not one person that I say I just admire. So that's a tough question. I admire different people for different things. I mean, and truly, you can admire everybody for something because everybody has something to them that makes them unique. You know, that's how God created us all to be. So, yeah, that's my answer to that. He be holding a Bible on his finger. Instead of a night talking about perfectly balanced. That's facts. That is facts. All right. Next question. That's 54. 54. How many siblings do I have? I got 2 of them. 2 of them. Daryl Patrick and Jeremy Vincent. All right. And maybe I shouldn't have said the government names out like that. But yeah, that is those are my 2 brothers. Patrick and Jeremy. I'm stuttering right now because I don't know how much I should be sharing right now. But yeah, Daryl goes by 1K Spin, and then Jeremy. Yeah, those are my siblings. Yes, I am the oldest of 3 boys. Crazy enough. Who do I look up to the most? I already answered that. So now we're at question 55. 55 out of 100. 55 out of 100. Would you rather go skydiving or scuba diving? Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Oh, man. I'm going to say skydiving only because Hold on. I was about to say I've already done scuba diving, but no, that was snorkeling. I've done snorkeling, but I haven't done scuba diving. I'd probably say skydiving, honestly. I'll skydive. Because I love heights, chat. I love heights. So if I could, I would definitely go skydiving. For sure. That would be fire. All right, 56. My favorite sport to watch would have to be That's tough, chat, because I played football, basketball, and baseball throughout high school. And I'm married now, but I used to have this saying where it's like when people would ask me what my favorite sport is, I would say that baseball was what I was married to, basketball was my girlfriend, and then football was the mistress. But, you know, now that I'm older and I know better, I would say, okay, so favorite sport, I would say to watch would be basketball because of the electricity of it. Honestly, soccer, football has gotten up there too. Because I recently went to the UK and I went to my first football match. And I will say it's way more enjoyable to watch in person than it is on TV. So I would say I'll put soccer up there too. So basketball, soccer. I know my least favorite would be golf. Least favorite is golf. Golf is one of those things you have to be there in order to enjoy it. And then baseball too. Baseball you can't watch on TV. You have to watch it in person. Unless it's the World Series. You can watch that on TV. Now playing, my favorite sport to play was baseball. I was the best at baseball. I was a natural at baseball. I could have went pro at baseball if I chose to took it. If I had chosen to take it seriously, I definitely would have done baseball. Baseball just came natural to me, and it was also the sport I played the most growing up. So, we got a question from chat. If you could invite one person from the Bible that's not Jesus to a live stream, who would you choose? Oh good one. That's a good one. Who would be the most lit? I feel like David would be fun. I feel like I would definitely have David on. I would have David on. I would have David on. I would not have Paul on. Paul put a dude to sleep. Dude died falling out the tree listening to Paul, and Paul had to revive him. I would not, I was thinking Paul, but I'm like, nah, Paul's too boring. I would say David, because David has stories, man. David lived a life, bro. I would say David. I would have to say. Oh no, Adam. I would put so Adam. I would put Adam on for controversy. No, no. I would put Adam on for controversy. Like if I wanted to have people on just to hate spam somebody, I would have Adam on. So yeah, I would put Adam on for sure. I would put Adam on too. But David would probably be number one. I'm trying to think. Yeah, if I'm trying to get views, I put Adam on. I put Adam on for views. Oh man. All right. Let's see. So that's 57 or 58. If you knew you were going to die tomorrow, what would you do today? Oh, snap. Oh, that's deep. That's deep. If you knew you were going to die today, what would you do today? If you knew you were going to die tomorrow, what would you do today? Dang. First off, I will repent of any and all sin that I've committed up until this point, just to make sure that I make it to heaven. You know what I mean? Just repent for everything. Just start repenting. Hands and knees, crying, snot, everything. Repenting. And then after that, I would. Let's see. What did I do after that? After that, I would spend as much time with my wife as I possibly could. As much time. You know what I'm saying? Wheelchair ministry for one last time. And then go to all my favorite spots, taking her along. Do one last stream. We have to do one last stream. We would have to do one last stream together. And then yeah, that'll be it. Honestly, just off the top of my head, yeah, that would be it. So that's 58. Favorite flower? I'm about to go with hydrangeas. My wife put me onto them when we were dating. I would have to say hydrangeas, white hydrangeas, and then after that would probably be the rose. I would say it would have to be the rose. I would put the rose on there as well. Yeah. Favorite smell? I say my wife. I will say my wife. My wife is my favorite smell. Yeah. For all you single dudes out here, this is how you stay married. Okay. What was your first job? Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so my first job. So, as far as my first job getting paid, it would have to be, I was a tour guide at the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute. And for those of you who don't know what that is, the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute was basically a museum that showcased Black history all the way from Reconstruction to the present, right? So it highlighted the city of Birmingham and its history, and then it highlighted the African American struggle and race relations in the city of Birmingham and in the Birmingham, Alabama area. And it was like on a timeline, right? So it went all the way from Reconstruction all the way to the present. So it started out with like a video of like life, what life was like during slavery, and then right afterward, and then you got taken through all these like stations and these lifelike structures like houses, churches, barbershop, figures, timelines, all that artifacts up into the present. And so I did a program for high school students, and then I got hired on as a docent, a tour guide for that summer. After that, for a few months, and honestly, I really appreciate that job because that's what got me really comfortable talking in front of people, public speaking. Because I had to talk to hundreds of people a week, and I mean, talked to well over 1,000 people, thousands of people over the course of that summer, and every time I went back to like help out and stuff. But the reason why I say like paying, just because we only got paid once at the end of the summer for that. Now, if you talk about like regularly paying job, like you know you get paid weekly by the hour, I would say it would be Winn-Dixie. Winn-Dixie is my first. And for those who don't know what Winn-Dixie is, that's a grocery store near and dear to the deep south, particularly in Alabama. Yeah, Winn-Dixie. My dad was an HR director for Winn-Dixie, and so through him, he was able to set me up with that job because one of the people, the store director, used to work for my dad, and so my dad had left by the time I got this job. So he put in a call, dude hired me on, and I worked there for a few months before I moved to Georgia my senior year of high school. I learned a lot, but yeah, when he taught my dad, I was doing slave work, like it was crazy. But it was beneficial nevertheless. It definitely taught me character. 58. If money was not an issue, what job would you want? I said streaming. Yeah, man, take notes. I'm giving you all the tips, man. All the tips. Describe yourself in 3 words. Saved, joyful, saved, joyful, saved, joyful, saved, joyful, empathetic. Saved, joyful. Yeah, I'll say saved, joyful, empathetic. Yeah. Favorite color is blue. Blue, 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 blue. All right, question 60. Favorite song. Oh, snap. Favorite songs. Favorite song. I would say right now. Hold on, let me look at my Spotify right quick. Okay, I'll say the one that I have on repeat right now, chat, would have to be Too Major by Ty Brazel and Tory Deshawn. Yeah, those are my top. Also, too, 808 Beezy, Still 30 for 30. Y'all go check that song out, bro. Still 30 for 30 by 808 Beezy is like a hype song of mine. And also, okay, 808 Beezy, and then also This Love Is Free by Highland. Those are like my top 3 right now. Top 3 favorite songs. Favorite movie? We're gonna go with Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame is my favorite movie of all time. Of all time. Okay. And then right behind that, honestly, you can make a case for first, but Avengers Endgame, it just the emotions and everything behind it was just, oh my gosh. But then right underneath that I would have to say would be The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight would have to be my favorite. Christian Bale, Heath Ledger. I mean, W. All right, we got something from chat. Are you an anime fan? I do watch anime. I haven't watched as much recently, but I'm not like, you know those dudes that have like waifus and whatnot, and like weeaboos, like people who make like life, like they take characters and then make them into like people. I'm not one of those type, right? But I do watch it. Okay, of course you have Dragon Ball Z, right? Grew up on that. Naruto was big into Naruto. I don't know if you consider Beyblade an anime, but I love Beyblade. I mean, I had the little Beyblades and everything. I even had the ones that you like put together and build, and then you go against the other kids with it. So I like that as well. And then recently, within the last 2 years or so, I know, but I was put on Attack on Titan, and I really liked Attack on Titan. I did. Yeah, I actually binged Attack on Titan. And then One Piece. I got a little bit into One Piece too. Favorite Naruto Uzumaki. Got to go with the main character. Only thing I didn't like about Naruto though is like they would have fight scenes that would last the whole 28 minutes, and then it would only be 2 minutes of fighting. I'm like, come on, man, get to it, man. Which I know that's a number of animes, but still, Naruto was like horrible with that, bro. That like, I literally stopped. I stopped watching Naruto because of that. I really did, but I still liked it. Yeah, baby, contemplate way too much. Like, man, just get to it, man. I don't need to know your inner thoughts about every single thing that's happening. Like, oh, that blade of grass is green. Yeah, we know, man. Now get to it. My gosh. All right, 62. 38 more questions. What was your first job? I already answered that. Have you ever broken any bones, and how? Woo! Man, okay. So, have I broken bones? Yes. It's hard, man. So, I jammed my fingers a lot growing up, playing baseball and basketball. Jammed a lot. I mean, that's just the nature of the game when you play sports. But first time I broke something was the summer of my junior year of high school. I was doing a basketball workout with another high school because my brother was talking about going to this particular high school, Parker High School in Birmingham. And the head coach there, who was a friend of my dad's, he arranged for us to be able to work out with the team for the summer. So we're working out, and I was going up for a rebound, and dude's hand like literally came down on my fingers, and like I just heard like this loud crack in my thumb, but in my left pointer finger, and in my thumb. But I'm thinking this is like a sprain, right? So I just put a sprain on it, and I just keep it moving or whatnot. Because again, I've jammed and like sprained my hands throughout my childhood. Once again, the life of an athlete. But during football, fast forward a few months later, in football practice, we're doing receiver on corner drills. I'm the receiver, and I have a corner on me. I run this in and out route, and as I come back to face the ball, dude comes, and I think this particular day I forgot to wrap my fingers with tape because at that point it started to feel better, and I was moving around and such. I wore a splint, but this particular day I was like, okay, I should be good to go. And so I remember he came and did the exact same thing, and he tackled me at the same time too. And so I ended up falling on my hand in like such a weird way that it literally I came up looking like I had like arthritis. Like it was crazy. And so I was like, yo, something's not right with this. I need to go get this checked out. So I went to the doctor, and they did the x-rays and everything. And they said that my pointer finger was broken, and it never really fully healed. So like if you see, like I can only bend it this far. Like I can't bend it like I can this one. So I broke this finger, and then the muscle on my thumb was ripped off the bone. So, i.e., I was out for the season. But yeah, that's the only time I've ever broken a bone was that particular time. Was it fun? It was not fun. It was definitely not fun. But that was life. And at that time too, like it was my senior year. I knew I wasn't gonna have a future in it. And at that time, I was like, okay, I'm gonna focus on academics. So, yeah, I was just, retire from playing. Now I look back on it, that's kind of sad. Dang, I kind of retired off of broken bones. But yeah. Next question. When people look back on your life, how do you want to be remembered? As a man that loved the Lord and brought others to love him too. And also, I want people to remember me as somebody who, whenever I talked to somebody or spoke to somebody, like they felt like they were the only person in the room. Like that's how special I want people to feel when they're around me. And it's something that I unknowingly and knowingly try to do. Because, I mean, if God created you, if you're living and breathing, you are special. So I want people to feel that. And if I interact with you or whatnot, that means that you are, you're special. You are precious in God's sight. And I want everybody to feel that way. So, yeah. I got to clip that for later. Man, that was a good one. Already answered this one. I said I would go skydiving. I love the heights. I love the thrill. Get to them hands, man. Come on. Do you have any pets? I do not have any pets. I do not have any pets yet. Any pets yet. So when Sam and I moved into this house, we were going to get a dog. That was like the move. But then the owner was like, yeah, if you have any dogs, you're going to have to pay this fee, and you have to sign all these papers and forms. And then he kept making attention to like the floors and everything and making sure they don't get messed up. And so I was like, hey man, you know what? I'm not, that's just too much. That's just too much. It's just too much going on. So we're not going to do that. Wait, what? Which two friends you choosing to hold off a 7-wave attack of 30 fourth graders with a dog as a boss ever? That's funny. Appreciate you stopping by, Pete. Yes, sir. Everybody sub up, man. Everybody sub up. If you haven't subbed up already, go ahead and sub up. Oh my gosh. That's actually good. Two friends you would choose holding up a 7-wave attack. I would say my friend Brent. And my friend Justin. Because those are the two biggest dudes I know. Oh, and for a third person, I'll add in my friend Mark as well. Because Mark is a large man. Okay. So we're at 60, 66, 67. Favorite TV show? Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. Favorite TV show? I would probably say, if you say of all time, yeah, I'm gonna have to go New Girl. I'm at the New Girl. Only because New Girl is that show that you can easily default to. You know what I mean? Like, what I mean by that is, like, if you're just sitting on the couch looking for something to do and you're just like, what show can I watch right now? It would be New Girl. You know what I mean? Like, New Girl is like an easy default. I would also put Fresh Prince of Bel-Air up there as well. Those are like the two as far as like all time shows. But yeah, as of late, as an adult, I would have to say New Girl. So, all right, we'll say 67, 68. Favorite superhero? Batman. It got to be Batman. Batman is number one. Batman is number one. Batman is number one, all right? It got to be Batman. It got to be. I know he's not a superhero, but if y'all go look at this Justice League episode, I think it was Justice League Unlimited, they literally found out that he had created a way to beat every single superhero and villain out there. like knew their weaknesses and everything and how to exploit them in case they went rogue. That to me put him number one. Like even though he doesn't have any superpowers, like just the way he thinks and he's just so cold, Chad. He's so cold, man. You talk about the originator of Riz. Batman is that dude. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say Batman. Oh, if you could go back in time to any time period, when and where would you go and why? Do I give the Christian answer and say the time of Jesus and see him and meet him? Or would I give a real answer and say, honestly, I would say around the time of Mansa Musa. Just to see like the richest man in history and just how he moved and lived, I would, and then I also too to kind of see, not just him, but just like Africa in all its glory. I would love to see that. Yeah, I would have said, the time of Mali, like when the Mali Empire, the kingdom was like at its like pinnacle, and to see Mansa Musa and just like, yeah, I would have to say that. I would have to say that for sure. Okay, let's say 70. That's 70. Have you ever saved anyone's life or possibly saved their life? I have. Spiritually, yes, I have. I have led people to Christ. Like one of my best friends in particular, Justin. But as far as like saving a life, like they were about to jump off the edge of a building and I told them no, like not that I can remember. Nah, I don't think I have. Nah. I mean, Lord willing, I'd be put in a situation where I can save somebody's life, but physically, spiritually, yes, I've done that. But as far as physically, dang, now I'm trying to think. Have I? Have I done that? I don't know. Yeah. If I had to think this hard about it, then no, I haven't. So. Already answered that. All right, we're on question 70. We got 30 more questions to go. Do you have a hunch on how you are going to die? Oh my gosh, what is it? Do I have a hunch on how I'm going to die? What is it? Probably Parkinson's, because that's how my great grandfather died, and I mean my grandfather's still alive, so we'll see about him. So is my dad, but as far as like the bloodline and everything, that seems to be it. I mean, looking at family history, natural causes has been like it. Yeah. Yeah. As far as how I'm gonna die, how would I die? I mean, yeah, Lord willing, to be natural causes, or even more, Lord willing, Jesus comes back before that happens. But yeah, I think natural causes. Or diabetes or something. I don't know. Favorite smell? I said Samantha. Favorite animal is the lion. Lion of the tribe of Judah. But yeah, lion. Already answered that one. Already did that. Already shared my favorite song. But I'll throw in another one though, just for time's sake. I would say another one would be Left Alone by What's the Left Alone by Our Last Night. It's a rock song. I love music of all kinds. So, what size? Hold on. Let's get back to chat. Let's get back to chat. Chat got a question for us. What shoe size do you wear? I wear an 11. I wear an 11. Yes, sir. I wear an 11. I wear an 11. Simple as that. Mac or PC? I'm going PC. That's what I grew up with. That's what I'm most comfortable with. Nothing against Mac. It's just I grew up wearing. What am I talking about? I grew up working PC. So, yeah. Back to the wheel. All right. So we're at 74. Favorite color is blue. Ooh, this is a good one. If you could go anywhere in the world without worrying about the cost, where would you go and why? I'm going to have to say Tahiti. Tahiti or Bora Bora? Is it because I know those are like supremely high cost areas? Yeah, I would probably say that. Yeah. Tahiti or Bora Bora? All right, 75. 25 more questions, chat. 25. Favorite time of day? Ooh, that's a good one. Favorite time of the day? So that depends on the day, right? So if we talk about the week, of course, it's going to be anytime after 5 p.m. because that's when I get off work. And also too, that's around the time I go to the gym. And I do like fitness. So yeah, that would be 5 p.m. And then Fridays, my favorite time of the day would be probably at night because that's when my wife is off of work and we get to hang out. And then we hang out with our friends as well on Friday night. We can just go out and do stuff without having to worry about going to work the next day. So, yeah, I would say so. Friday would be nights. Saturdays would be probably like the early afternoon. And I say that because there's something about that nice early afternoon Saturday, like when you go out and like do stuff and like. Yeah, and like do like activities and whatnot. I don't know, all day Saturday, really. So that's how I break it down. Okay, so for the week, it would be the evening. Friday would be night. Saturday all day. And then Sunday would be the morning and afternoon. Because you have church and then you have that after church nap. And let me tell you something. That after church woo, is the best. Come out feeling like a new man, literally. It's like a natural hyperbaric chamber Saturday afternoons. So, all right, 76. Already answered that one. Do you have any pets? No, I do not. Already answered that one. If you were stranded on an island, what one thing would you pick to have an unlimited supply of? Eggs. I would say eggs. Well, no, because you would need something to cook with. But if you're stranded on an island, you have like the wood and the fire and everything. So yeah, I would say eggs. Yeah, eggs, man. Eggs is severely underrated. I would definitely say eggs. Eggs for sure. Eggs. I have 3 siblings. I have 3 younger brothers. Already answered that one. Already said that. Tahiti or Bora Bora. Favorite restaurant? Now, that's tough because if it's a chain restaurant, at the moment I would have to say probably Cowboy Chicken. But as far as like an actual sit down, like by itself type of restaurant, man, that's tough. What's a nice restaurant I've been to recently? What is a nice restaurant I've been to recently? Okay, I know. So people in the Dallas area, I've heard people like kind of talk down about it, but I actually really enjoyed it, and that was the Crown Royal up at the top of Reunion Tower. I actually really liked that restaurant. It was really dope, and that's when Sam and I celebrated our first anniversary as a married couple. So yeah, I would say Crown Royal. Yeah. All right, we're gonna answer that question. Would you do? Hold on, let me get back to. Would you do a Hot Ones inspired episode? I would actually. I would. As a matter of fact, my friend Justin, he's like big in the wings, like big. So if I were to do that, I would have him on, and we just go. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would definitely do that. I would definitely do a Hot Ones inspired, even though I hate hot foods. I just don't understand the attractiveness of fighting while eating. I like to enjoy it. I like to enjoy my food. I don't like no, I'm good on that. I'm good on that. But for that though, I would do a Hot Ones inspired episode though. I would. Or a Hot Ones inspired stream rather. All right, answered that one. It's the thrill of nearly dying. Yeah, it gotta be right. Because ain't no way. Ain't no way. Oh gosh, man. I'm like cringing thinking about it. How did you meet your best friend? Since Samantha's my best friend. How did we meet? So my best friend from high school, guy I mentioned earlier, Justin, so we did this thing called 252 at Church of the Highlands. And it was 100 kids broken up into 10 groups. And so Sam just happened to be at Justin's group. And they became close, as everybody in their groups became close. Well, except mine. We kind of did our own thing. We kind of floating. We would hang out and stuff outside of church and whatnot. And so I remember after graduation, Justin and I and my other friend Nevin, we used to hang out at this spot called Top Golf. And at Top Golf, we just chill, hang out, whatnot. And so I remember one Thursday, it got to a point where we were like, all right, because we always hung out there on Thursdays. We were like, okay, we need somebody to come to kind of like break the monotony of it. And so Justin went through his list, I went through mine, and Justin was like, yo, like, what about so-and-so? And I was like, yeah, man, invite her. And she came through that door, and I was like, oh, snap, who is that? So that's how I met Sam. Now, as far as like guy best friend, I have a few guy best friends, honestly. I would say like the oldest one, Justin. I met him in physics. That was the first time I met him. And I remember, and we did this thing together. It involved like these mini go-karts and these wheels and whatnot for physics class, AP physics. And I remember going home that day to my mom, and I was like, yo, Justin seems like the type of guy that you could like 50 years from now, dentures in a glass on the table somewhere, just talking about life growing up, And me and him were still tight to this day. And then of course you have Jonathan, you have Maurice, Nevin, Brent, and then as of recently you got my guys Jordan Green, Kingsley Bryce, and just all the dudes I've met out here but the ones I've named have been like it. So yeah, Jordan, yeah, and then Jordan and Kingsley, I met the guys I literally had on stream recently. I met them through a married couple group, and like we really gotten close and grown since then. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll say that's it. All right. I think it's getting to a point where we're starting to just repeat questions. So if I get 4 more of these, chat, then I'm going to just leave it up to y'all to ask me something. And if there's nothing left to ask me, then I'm going to end it on some notes and then, yeah, let y'all get some shaddai. Have I ever saved in one's life possible? No. Favorite season, I already said fall. I know there's some on here that I haven't done yet. Let me see. These. Ooh, question from chat. What makes a good friend? Yo, so what makes a good friend is I kind of think back to the role of government. Oh snap! It's a thriller. Okay, what are you most grateful for? I will say. What are you most grateful for? I will say that I am most grateful for just breathing. Just life, just knowing Jesus as my Lord and Savior, just having the privilege of being introduced to that at such a young age, and then also having the mindset and the spiritual awareness and openness to accept it and move about my life, knowing that through that is something I'm most grateful for, because it's from that everything has come, right? So like, you know, the friends that I've made, the wife that I have. All the provisions that I have, you know, all that has come because of him. So, yeah, I would definitely say that is what I'm most grateful for. What makes a good friend? I would like to think of it to like the Jonathan and David story of the Bible, right? Where it became about like true sacrifice and like what you're willing to do for your best friend. I actually talked about that when I had Jordan on stream, like what makes a friend. And it's somebody who will hold you accountable, lovingly hold you accountable, also being real with you lovingly, but also being willing to sacrifice for you and willing to put their needs or your needs ahead of theirs. I think to me is a friend, a true friend, while also having, you know, like this and similar interests and whatnot. Because you can honestly have nothing in common with somebody as far as like what you're interested in and still be a really good friend to them, you know. So it just depends, because like you can have similar interests with, you know, somebody, but they could have evil intentions. But I think it really comes down to the heart and how you treat that person. And like I said, it truly comes down to sacrifice, really. If you're willing to sacrifice for that person and just like really like affirm them, pour life into them, and they do the same thing, that to me is a true friend. Is happiness attainable? Yes, happiness is very much attainable. It's fleeting, but it's attainable. You could attain happiness in anything, really, if you look at the simple, small things in life. If you look at the small things in life, if you stop to just capture and just really appreciate the small things in life, you can find happiness in that. You can find happiness in every moment. Happiness is a choice, I will say. You could choose to be happy. Now, joy, on the other hand, is a whole different thing. And I do believe you can attain joy, but only through Jesus, because he's the only one that can provide that. Like, how many people, especially like people of like of higher status. They attain all the things in this world that they want to attain and still are left feeling empty. And I mean, you go back to Ecclesiastes where Solomon literally writes like, yo, I've literally done it all and life is still meaningless. So like he has all these like little different happinesses and still was just like, yo, life means nothing without God. So do I think happiness is attainable? Yes. It's very easy to attain. Joy, only one source, and that is Jesus. What is the role of government? The role of government is to govern. It is to govern without being authoritarian, I will say. And that's what I'm going to leave it at right there. You know, I ain't trying to get canceled just yet. At least based off of that. What if aliens have visited Earth? What if aliens have visited Earth? I would hope it not be like a War of the World situation where they're trying to exterminate us. You know, maybe when they would be able to some kind of agreement. You know, as far as cohabitation. Me personally, I do not believe that aliens exist, but you know, let's say on like a very, very off chance that they do. Yeah, I hope they're friendly. I do hope they're friendly. And could we cure all diseases? Could we cure all diseases? Life would be great. Life would be great if we could cure all diseases, but I don't think it's going to happen. And the reason why I say that is because so God puts things in our lives just so that we can be reminded of the fact that we need them, right? Because humanity, we're stupid. We're absolutely stupid. And so, if it ever came down to a point where diseases were ridden of, currently, now one day it will when He returns, but currently, if all diseases were ridden, I could see humanity as a creation being like, we're gods, we're this, that, and the other, and us honestly forgetting God. And as prideful of a society as we are, that is very much a reality, very much a possibility of that happening. And so knowing that God's like, I can't let that happen. I cannot let that happen. So He's going to do, or does He want us to suffer? No, but He has to in order to keep us, in order to keep us in our place and us understanding like, yo, we are flawed humanity in need of a savior, and that we can literally do nothing in this life without Him. We are imperfect. We are flawed. We are limited, finite. And unfortunately for us, disease is part of the equation that keeps us humble. So, but those are all good questions, though. Those are all good questions. How many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, what's that? 85 questions? It's pretty good. Favorite day of the week. Sorry, favorite day of the week. That was the first question that popped up. Favorite day of the week, Friday, of course. Honestly, for me though, it's Thursday because I'm off on Fridays for my job. So, yeah, Thursday's me because Thursdays are my Fridays. So, if y'all remember that Jason Derulo song, "Hello Friday," that'd be me for Thursday. So, yeah. Let's see. All right, said my favorite superhero, that is Batman. Batman. All right, answer this question. I'm gonna do 2 more of these, and if 2 more of these are like the same, then I'll go ahead and end stream. Favorite flower, hydrangea. Yeah, I've already answered that one. Favorite sport, I've already answered that one. Let's see. And then favorite smell. Okay, so yeah, I think we'll stop at 85. I know I said 100, but we'll go ahead and close out at 85. So, let's see. What Hogwarts class am I? I'll be honest with you, dog. I never really got into Harry Potter because my mom and dad were like, no to it. Like, you are not going to be watching that with the whole sorcery and witchcraft and everything. So, I can't answer that. But what do you think I would be based on what you know of me? What do you think I would be? That's a funny question. Hufflepuff? Okay. Okay. I'll take that. I don't know what that means, but I'll take that. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all and all those who joined in the stream, man. This was fun. This is really fun. And yeah, this is oh, they're the smart ones. Okay, bet. Okay, bet. Okay, cool. Yeah, Hufflepuff, baby. Drop a bomb for the Hufflepuff. Let's get it. Anyways, y'all, like I said, man, this is a W stream, man. Honestly, just a stream just for everybody to get to know me as a streamer. But I'm going to leave it off with some questions that I didn't get answered, right? So, why do I stream? I stream because, one, I love talking to people. I love interacting with people. And I just love the technology behind it and the science behind, like, really putting this stuff together. And just really having the opportunity to promote Christ by me. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is like Christ is using me and, you know, the way I am to promote his kingdom is pretty cool. And so ultimately the reason why I'm streaming is because I want to show the world that you can love the Lord and still be lit at the same time. Like, you know, you're used to like the Nick Joneses and the Ruslan KDs and the Johnny Chains, and while I respect them wholeheartedly, I love what they've done with the kingdom and whatnot. And I don't mean this in any way, shape, or form. They're a little dry, you know what I mean? Like they're a little. Me, I'm trying to show the world, like, yo, you can have fun. You could be lit, you could be turned and whatnot, and still love Jesus to the fullest and promote his kingdom, man. I'm trying to give dimension and balance to us believers. I'm trying to shift the cultural viewpoint of what a believer and the love of Jesus is. And so, with all of my skill sets and my love for this man, I really feel as though the Lord has really put me in this position and really introduced this to me at this time in my life. To really do big things for him while also enjoying the ride and doing it. So, yeah, man, I just really, I'm really passionate about this. And, yeah, I'm gonna just leave it on that note. I'm gonna just leave it on that, chat. So, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, man. It's been real, y'all. It's been fun. This is JC Bowie with a 0. Why the 0? Because I am nothing without my hero, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Love, peace, and blessings. And I will see y'all.